And in ancient days, when all of this started to occur, the pieces and the parts of you, which you call cellular structure, DNA, were far more quantum than they are now. You changed it. You created the energy you wanted to change on this earth. And slowly, and we have described it before, a fully quantum DNA got reduced. You forgot things. The search was still there for God. You had far more control of your life process in ancient days than you do now. Those stories of the ancients living so much longer. Abraham, I will give you his lifespan. It wasn't 900 years, but it was more than 130. More than 130. And he's fairly recent. Can you imagine what the ones before him had? Lifespans of hundreds of years indeed were real. And in your singularity and the smugness of your science, you look back and say that they must have counted years differently then. Because today we have modern science and our lifespans are increasing, and back then they didn't, therefore they only lived 30, 40 years. Oh wow, 3D of you. You don't see it. Your bias is so complete you can't even imagine it. That a human being had a quantum biased DNA. One that knew how things worked. And that is the beginning of the teaching. Now that I have exposed what is and what isn't, let me give you a few hints. This is practical. How do you start to become quantum? Kryon, I want it. I hear that. I hear that. We feel it is needed, it is reasonable. We know that it's necessary to change the paradigm. By the way, just to keep up with the children. They come in quantum. They come in differently than you did, less linear. Did you notice? They're conceptual. That is very quantum. They see issues in concepts and not in a straight line. Imagine children who can see parents' problems and comment on them. That's a conceptual child, is it not? A child that sees what it is and is not afraid to comment. A child that goes to school and sees only linear things and has a conceptual mind. A child that sits in a classroom and is being hand-fed the facts and the figures of things it already knows because it sees the whole picture. It has the concept, and yet it feels that the adults around them say that they have to go through 3 more years before they learn it, and they know it. What would you do if you were put in that situation today at work? I'll tell you what you'd do. You'd quit. You're not going to go through that. Well, a child cannot quit. And so they do the next thing. They turn inward or they turn outward. They either act out or they go within. And you give it labels and you give it drugs, don't you? Never understanding that this is a quantum child. You understand why you have to do it. Here is number 1. This is number 1. You're not going to get anywhere with this unless you begin speaking to your cellular structure. It's about time your consciousness spoke to you. And you feel that this is odd and strange. And if anyone sees you doing it, they will agree. Let me tell you why this is going to work. Because human consciousness is the most quantum thing you have. It is outside of the purview of 3 dimensions. Your consciousness can move mountains. Your consciousness has created the shift. You're not aware of it. Your consciousness is powerful. So now let's put it to work on you to change a very paradigm daily. You're going to have to speak to your cellular structure and give it commands. And it's going to be shocked that the boss has started talking to it. Because it never has before. And I'll tell you why it's going to work. And this is a review. This is science. If you were to peer into your DNA, you would find that only 3% of it does anything at all regarding the creation of a 3-dimensional attribute or scenario of human gene production. Over 30,000 genes of the human body are all created by less than 3% of the chemical makeup of your DNA. Well, what does the rest do? It is quantum. It is there for everything else. It is there for the healing that you're asking for today. It is there and was given to you early on to contain all of the Akash. That is to say, every lifetime you've ever lived, every attribute you've ever had, every personality is in the Akash. And by the way, it's available all the time because it's quantum. And science sees it and doesn't understand it, but acknowledges it's there. 90% of your DNA is not structured. It follows no kind of symmetry, and science cannot attach any usefulness to it. It's time that science saw what it was, a quantum instruction set for the 3%. More than 90% of you is ready to accept instructions from you. And it's not going to happen unless in 3D you start giving it instructions. Well, what do I say? Humans are so funny. It's like being introduced to a stranger, isn't it? Consciousness meets cells. Cells meet consciousness. Take a look at each other. Aren't you funny? Pretending that neither one of you exists. Well, it's time you melded this every day. Practice it. What do I say? I'll give you a good beginning. Dear cellular structure, I love you. Thank you for creating the perfect life that I am on the planet. Now let's get some things straight. I'm in charge. Consciousness speaks to cells. Number 1, I'm in charge. And the cells will sigh a breath of relief, and they'll say, we knew somebody was out there. So we can stop just doing what we're doing, right? Now we can have some instructions. What are your instructions? And then you start, and we want you to start activating the quantum parts that you all have. Now don't tell your cellular structure what to do, because you're in 3D. Instead, become quantum, and we're going to discuss this now, and this is so difficult. Cellular structure, we wish you now to capture the attributes that only you know are needed for healing, for life extension, for the stopping of aging, for joy, for peace. Become quantum. Every single day, address your cells as they are your best friends. Don't miss a day, don't miss a time. And in your quietest moments, thank them and love them. I'm telling you, this is going to make a difference. This is the human being acknowledging their quantumness, even though they don't understand it, and asking for help within their own cellular structure. And to some, it's going to be laughable.